What are the best settings that you can use for vanilla Minecraft? That's what we're going to be going over in this video, and I do want to mention this isn't the best way to get the most FPS out of Minecraft. You're going to be able to get more by using these settings, but the best way to do that is going to be using performance mods, like our mod pack Notifying. It's linked below, as well as a guide on how to get more FPS in Minecraft. It covers all of that. This is, though, how to get the best settings with vanilla Minecraft, no mods. And first things first, you want to start off in the Minecraft launcher, go over here to installations, and then you want to find the installation you're going to play and click on it, and then click more options. Right here at the beginning, we have this XMX and then a number G. It might be MB for you or M. If it is, just go ahead and change it to like 2G here. This is the amount of RAM Minecraft has dedicated to it. 2G is 2 gigs. 4G is 4 gigs. For vanilla Minecraft, you never really need to go over 4 gigs, so you're going to put 4G there, unless you have less than 4 gigs of RAM. Otherwise, you will need to run less RAM, but very rarely is that the case. Most people usually have at least 8 gigabytes today, and honestly, 16 is more common. So 4G here is what we want to do for our RAM, and then just click save, and you can play Minecraft. So in-game, there are a few things we can do for FPS in vanilla. As you can see, we have a texture pack enabled right now, and disabling texture packs is actually going to be one of the ways that you can reduce lag and get better performance out of Minecraft. But from there, we're pretty much going to be going through all of our settings here because this is our Minecraft settings guide. But we'll start off with video settings, since that is probably the most common place you're going to want to look here. Full screen resolution, if you're playing Minecraft full screen, is the resolution it's set to. The higher the resolution, the more lag you're going to have, so if you want to turn that down, it is a good way to get performance in vanilla. Biome blend, you'll want to turn all the way down, and that's something you'll actually notice here when you're running these settings. We pretty much want to turn everything all the way down, like render distance set to 2 is going to be a lot less laggy than render distance set to 16. Same thing with simulation distance. Setting that at 5 is going to be a lot less laggy than 16 and of course 32. For graphics, and again, if it's not turned all the way down or off, you want to set it to fast. However, if you want kind of a good looking Minecraft, you can set it to fancy, and it's going to be a little more performant than, let's say, fabulous. For chunk builder, honestly, fully blocking is what I've always left it as, but sometimes semi-blocking can give a better performance. So it's really just up to you. You can kind of play around with that. You'll want to turn smooth lighting off for performance. I recommend setting frame rate to unlimited, but I do want to mention here, you only need about 30 FPS to play Minecraft. You don't need 60, you don't need 120, you don't need unlimited. You just need about 30 FPS. So a lot of times I think lag will happen or something like that, or you'll think you're not getting enough FPS when really all you need is 30 to make things playable. Really, consistency matters more than anything, and that's where VSync can come in. If you have an NVIDIA GPU, you can turn this on and it will lock your FPS to your monitor's refresh rate. It's a great way to smooth out FPS. Reduce FPS when AFK or when minimized. I always do AFK. GUI scale doesn't really affect anything, but that's how big your stuff is in Minecraft. As you can see, this is way too large for this video, and this is way too small. However, 4 is about perfect. Attack indicators doesn't really change anything. It's just what your attack indicator kind of looks like, whether it's off, whether it's hotbar, all of that stuff. And the brightness, again, doesn't affect performance, but it's a great way to just kind of set it to how you want. I always like to go the brightest. Clouds do affect performance. Fast is going to be the best if you want clouds while still keeping things performant. Turning them off is the best for performance, and fancy makes them look good. Full screen being turned on would make Minecraft full screen. That plays back to the full screen resolution, for example. Particles, minimal is going to be best, but always leave them all on just because I like the look. Map levels, you want to turn those all the way down for best performance. Entity shadows, off is going to be the best performance, but I like to leave them on. Distortion effects doesn't really matter, FOV effects doesn't really matter, and glint speed doesn't really matter for performance. However, distortion effect is basically how nausea and the nether portal affect you. If you kind of get a little sick when you see that, you can turn this off, for example. FOV effects is how much the field of view actually changes whenever you're like running or something like that. And then glint speed is how fast glint is on enchanted items. For entity distance, turning that down is going to be the best for performance, but for that is how far away entities actually appear for you. This actually kind of pairs with simulation distance. Autosave indicator, whether you want that on or off is up to you. And then the glint strength is how strong and how, it says transparent, the visual glint is on enchanted items. I would say how strong it is, right? How visible it actually is. And then for the menu background blur, it's actually kind of cool to see this. You can see it's off right now, but if we were to turn this on, it would blur the background of Minecraft when we're in menus. For view bobbing, you can turn this on or off. That's just how your basically view bounces when you're running. And cloud distance is how far away clouds appear from you when you're in game, kind of creating a more of an immersion effect. And that's kind of all the video settings there. Generally, fast, minimal, off or turned all the way down is what you want to set these to in order to get the best performance when it comes to this. Now, before we move on, I do want to quickly mention our hosting provider, SimpleGameHosting. This is the easiest way to play Minecraft with your friends. You can check it out at the first link in the description down below, the breakdown.xyz/SGH, to get a Minecraft server up and running in minutes. You can easily add mods, plugins, and mod packs to your server and truly customize the server any way that you want. And there's even expert live chat support there to help you out along the way. So don't struggle to host a Minecraft server. Start your server the simple way at the first link in the description down below, the breakdown.xyz/SGH. Nevertheless, we can now move on to other Minecraft settings here. For example, FOV is how zoomed out Minecraft is, basically, whenever you're in game. A low FOV means you're going to be very zoomed in. A high FOV, Quake Pro, is going to be super wide. You're going to be able to see a big range around you. I run it at normal because that's where most people kind of leave it, but you can just play around with that in game. Online settings, really nothing here, whether you want realms invites, whether you want to allow server listings, and this will protect you from being on server list, basically. Skin customizations, what you want on or off when it comes to your skin. Music controls, how you want your volume set, where you want your volume to go. You can actually change it to a specific device, as you can see here. All of this can be changed. It's actually kind of cool, everything that can be changed here. And then we also have our controls. Now, mouse settings is all of your different mouse sensitivities and whether your X and Y axes are inverted and all of that. And then we also have key bindings. And this can actually be kind of cool because you can do some cool stuff in here. By default, the middle mouse button is what you use to pick a block. This is going to, if you're in creative, pull that block out of thin air, or if you're in survival, it would actually pull it out of your inventory into your active hand slot. However, I don't like middle button being used. Some mouse don't even have them, but if you change this to H, it's not going to conflict with anything, and now when you hit H, it will pick a block. Super easy thing to do, but it's kind of cool to look through these, and there's other different kind of tweaks and things like that that you can do in order to get different Minecraft optimizations going. We also have sneak and sprint, whether those are hold or toggle. I personally like hold, but again, that's personal preference. Attack destroy, whether that's hold or toggle. That's a really kind of trippy one, by the way. You should try that sometime, because what this does is it makes it to where instead of having to hold to mine a block, you just click once. It will mine the entire block. You click again to stop it. Same thing with use place item, whether that's hold or toggle, and then auto jump. This turned auto on there for a while, and this is where you can turn it off to where you won't automatically jump when you hit a block that you can jump onto, and it will turn that off where you have to jump manually. The sprint window is how quickly you have to double tap forward in order to sprint. You can make that 7, turn it all the way up to 10. It gives you more time, basically. Operator items tab, actually don't know what that is. It kind of sounds like if you're opt on a server, you would be able to see the items that you have options, and we'll turn that on. Language is pretty self-explanatory. You can change your language, chat settings, all of this stuff. Chat shown, though, is something that can often cause issues. If you join a server, you can't open chat. For whatever reason, you can't open chat. It's probably your chat settings, and they need to be set to shown. I recommend kind of running all of these settings at default like they are here now. If you need narrator, that can be enabled here as well. Debug info can be kind of interesting. If you're getting a lot of random debug info, turn that on or off, kind of up to you, and then all of that it can be left the same, right? And then we can move on to resource packs. Obviously, this is where you can install resource packs on the left-hand side, move them over to the selected, click done, and they will be enabled. And then we have accessibility settings. A lot of good stuff in here. Narrator for the entire game. So chat settings just for the chat. Narrator for the entire game. We have the controls. You can go here and change those key bindings. We got to those via the control setting earlier as well, though. You also can change the text background to where it's a better, more of a clear background versus a solid background. Menu background blur can also be changed here. Line spacing in chat. Everything. I recommend looking through this. Some of this can be great if you have, visual issues, prone to seizures, things like that, like hiding sky flashes and stuff. So great to look at. We can go ahead and turn that on, and then we can go ahead and save those. Also, if you want to hide the splash text on the main menu, you can do that here, as well as turn Minecraft's logo monochrome, which is just kind of cool if nothing else. We also have the telemetry data. Nothing that you need to see here, really. And then we have the credits and attribution, which you can roll the credits of Minecraft. So that's a look at all of Minecraft's settings. And just wanted to go over all of those, kind of let you look at them. And we focused obviously on video settings because that's where you can get the most bang for your buck. If you've got any questions, let us know in the comments. But we'll see you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.